It's here. The NBA Finals, Game 1. We're going to preview it. The Celtics three-point shooting, what to do with Luka and Kyrie, a wild card to attack. It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Thanks to Blockbuster Brand, it's holiday season, drop Drew in the mix. And 3 from KP, no, we not on the Knicks. Flushing competition like Al on Giannis. Juice and Big Juice, still Beantown's finest. Banner 18 going up in the rafters. Watch the C's game in locked on after. Karalis on the breakdown. Clutch like a tip from D. White on the breakdown. John on the mic, documenting domination. Matter pen a back bay, it's all C's nation. Rain and J's, how we started, raising business, how we finish. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. Peace.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you covered every single day, Monday through Friday. Bonus podcasts. It's the NBA Finals. Plenty of bonus podcasts, so make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, whichever app you use. It's on YouTube. Watch the show there. Get into the comments section. Lots of Mavs fans in there talking their trash, so get in there, fight with them, and have some fun. I'm John Karalis. Used to play a long time ago. Now I'm covering the potential world champion Boston Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. So check out my stuff there. Today, it's the NBA Finals. This is the Thursday episode, Game 1. So let's just dive into our Finals preview. How the C's win, a wild card, all that stuff. Tom Westerholm.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Finally, thank goodness.
Oh my God.
I tweeted this earlier today too, but I'm just honestly, man, we had to get to a point where everybody would stop yelling at each other about things that might happen, and now we can yell at each other about things that are happening and that have happened.
Yes.
I can't. I know that's what we're gonna do on this show, and I'm excited to do the show, but. All this projecting that we've been doing, it mercifully we can start to actually analyze hoops again, and not hoops from January.
I know. Today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Maybe your first purchase is NBA Finals tickets. You can go check that out. Terms apply. Yeah, it's going to be fun to actually talk about what happened versus what we're talking about now, which I'm going to start with. I think this series could, if you want to condense it down to one thing, Celtics shoot well, they win. Celtics shoot poorly, they could lose. And I don't want to say they will lose because they can win when they don't shoot well, but it'll be hard. It'll be hard to do.
Probably lose is a fair phrasing of that.
You
don't shoot well. That's just what we've seen from them this year. And to their credit, they've shot well a lot and they've won a lot. But yeah, I think I agree with you.
So here's the one stat here. Dallas gives up 11 in the playoffs. They've been giving up 11 corner 3-point attempts, and opponents have been shooting 34% on corner 3-pointers, which is just bad. You got to be shooting well into the 40% range because those corner threes are the holy grail. You work all offense all game to generate as many of those open corner 3-pointers, and if you can't cash in on those, you're in trouble. Now here's the thing. In the regular season, the Celtics led the league 43%, buoyed by Jrue Holiday shooting 60% on corner 3-pointers. In the playoffs, do you know what their playoff number is on corner threes? Will Kidder venture a guess on how far off of 43% that is?
So eye test, right? It has looked like they've missed a lot of them. Mm-hmm. I'll go 37.
34.8%. Wow. Yeah. Now, smaller sample size, and there's not a lot of corner threes in general to be taken. You only get a few here or there. Like Holiday over the course of the regular season took 1.3 per game. So you get a couple here or there, and then one. It's only like one or two, right?
Right. Like
So,
you make 3 in a row in the playoffs and your percentage skyrockets. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, he's at 6 of 18 right now in the
yeah,
playoffs. So he makes 3 in a row. He's 9 of 21. Now you're pushing like 40 something percent, right?
yeah.
So
Yep.
that definitely is how small a sample size is. But you look at Al Horford, almost 45% from the corners. He is at 37% from the corners in the playoffs. Sam Hauser in the regular season, 49% from the corners. Now Hauser's a big driver of this, 36.8% in the playoffs. He hasn't hit a damn thing.
Yeah.
Derek White in the playoffs is shooting 4 of 17 from the corners. And now he had like a couple of big ones, but he's been struggling from 3 in the corners, 23.5%, and he's at almost 40% in the regular season. This is going to be the one place that you can boil it down to its simplest numbers, simplest concept. I think the Celtics are going to generate a ton of these corner threes because that's what the Dallas defense does. They're going to attack Kyrie. They're going to attack Luka. They're going to get into the paint because those guys, the Dallas defense is designed to funnel you into the paint where they protect the rim, and then you're going to spray and get out to the corners. Are they going to knock those shots down or not? If they can knock them down like they did in the regular season, it's a wrap. And not only is it a wrap, Tom, this is a wrap in quick fashion. If they can shoot regular season 43% from the corners, then that's just going to mean that they're above the break threes are going to be good too. That means guys are in rhythm. If those shots are falling, then all of a sudden the talk's going to be like, wow, the Celtics are up 3-0 in this series. How did that happen? So that's how important I think that shot is.
I mostly agree with you. I think I would point out 2 things to that. So I entirely agree with you on the concept of threes in general. If the Celtics shoot well from 3, I don't see a way that the Mavs win the series. Like I don't. And to your point, I don't see a way that they. I don't think the series goes much past. I hate putting numbers on these things, but I think I'm with you that I think it'll be a relatively quick series if the Celtics are making threes. I think the 2 things that I would say, one of the reasons that the Mavericks have given up so many corner threes is because of the way that they defended the Timberwolves, right? Like they just kind of with the Timberwolves, it was just kind of like, I mean, yeah, until you make one, be my guest, right? Like they gave those guys a lot of 3-pointers, and the Timberwolves did not take advantage of that one bit. I also think that the Celtics, the way that they spray a lot of the time is that spray pass, right? They like to do that spray, then the pass, and then it's like it's an above the break 3, but it's perfectly in rhythm. It's exactly, the guy caught it in his pocket because even the guy passing it to him was pretty open, and he's just got time to set and shoot. And they've done that so much this season that they've gotten really good at it. And honestly, a lot of those kind of plays, you don't always get those in the playoffs, and the Celtics have, which like they've had quite a few of those kick spray, spray, kick, whatever's. So I think that there's other shots as well that like I wonder how many corner threes they're actually going to get. One, because I think that the Mavericks might close out a little bit harder to the corners against the Celtics than they did against the Timberwolves. But then also because with that pass, I think that some of these great looks that I think that they're going to be able to generate are going to be above the break or, straight away, especially with Porzingis back. Like, I think that those shots are going to be as important, if not maybe more important than the corner 3. But one way or the other, I think the 3-pointer is, make those, your job's done. You're
No, that's
going
right.
to win this series.
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting 11 or even close to that, 9, 8, corner 3-pointers, you got to knock down 3-4 of those.
Yeah.
And you can't be 1 for 8. You got to be 3 for 8. And it might not sound like much, but 6 points is 6 points. And
absolutely.
That's a lot in the NBA Finals. Like, so I am putting a little bit more emphasis on the corner 3, but you're absolutely correct that if the way I see an offensive possession playing out, like in the absolute perfect possession is some sort of pick and roll that involves, let's just say, Jayson Tatum, right? And you're involving, I expect Luka to start on Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Yeah, it's gonna get goofy.
It's gonna be all over the place anyway.
Yeah.
But so Tatum drives. Now Porzingis is popping out. Let's just say up to the left above the break. Tatum drives, draws in the defense because that's what they want. They want to funnel you into the paint, draw in the defense, kick out to the corner. It's Jrue Holiday. They close out, and it's swing out to Jaylen Brown. X out, boom. They go out, close out on Jaylen Brown. He drives. Now Tatum has relocated to the corner. Porzingis has relocated up. Derek White has now taken Porzingis' spot, and it's drive, collapse defense again, kick out to the corner, and it's Jayson Tatum there in the corner. Or it's Derek White, whoever it is, somebody there, and it's that second corner three-pointer that is wide open. And it's because it's drive, kick, swing, and drive again. It's that second drive that I'm looking at. You want to protect the paint? You want to run out to the corner, come back and protect the paint, run out to that corner over there, make them work. I want that second corner three. That's the one that I want. It's not the first one. It's the second one. I'll think about that. I'm going to come back. You tell me what you think about that concept, knowing that that's my perfect possession. That's going to happen probably 5 times a game. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app. You can get yourself maybe NBA Finals tickets. They're even faster and easier, and the prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer you get to tip-off. You can get killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, a view from your seat, with the lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. Look, if I wasn't already there, if I didn't already have a seat, I'd be looking at the Gametime app because they've got last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever. So that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck when you get those last-minute tickets on Gametime. Now, the NBA Finals might be a little bit of a different animal, but last-minute Red Sox tickets, last-minute show coming up, a concert or something. They've got flash deals, more with exclusive in-app deals that have select seats ahead of whatever event you're going to. Zone deals where you pick the section, they pick the seats. You toggle in the all-in pricing, and you can get your big total up front, and there's no surprise fees at the end. You can get your panoramic view from your seat so you know what you're getting into. It's all there on the Gametime app. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets or whatever other tickets by downloading the Gametime app, creating an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKED ON, LOCKED, LOCKED ON NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Sports Today. I make plenty of appearances. The show makes plenty of appearances on Locked On Sports Today because it's streaming 24/7 on YouTube and on the Amazon Fire TV channels app. So go check it out wherever you get your podcasts. It's all the big stories, all the big shows, real sports talk, not fake arguing, and all of that jazz. All right, Tom Westerholm, I laid out my ideal offensive possession. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I agree with your ideal offensive possession. And I think the only thing I would add to it is, like, I think if you were looking to get the first corner three, not the second one, the easiest way to do that, right, is to run your pick and roll, whoever Kyrie is guarding, try to force that switch with Tatum, get him in the post, bully ball, help comes, skip pass to the other corner, which Tatum has gotten really good at.
Yeah.
Bing, bang, boom. There's a lot of ways that the Celtics can generate really good threes, really good corner threes in this series. And I think that's, if you're the Mavericks, I think that's, like Luka and Kyrie are going to do their damage, right? You know that. But I think if you're the Celtics, that's one of the biggest reasons that you're feeling that you you're feeling good. I don't know how the Celtics are feeling, going into this. I mean, it's a lot of pressure and they,
I assume they feel good. They
Yeah.
seem to feel good. I mean,
Yeah,
well,
they sounded
we haven't talked about. They're at media day. Wednesday was media day. Everybody seemed fine. Everybody seemed normal. Everybody seemed loose. Jayson.
I enjoyed Tatum with Gary Washburn's question. It's like, you've been one of the most scrutinized players, and he's like,
you think?
You think?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, you think maybe. It's funny because he went on to talk about like, I don't pay any attention to it, but like, really? Because everything you just your initial reaction makes us think that you are very well aware of how you're scrutinized.
But his answer was like, I like the new Jayson. I mean, not the new, the how Jayson Tatum has developed as a press conference guy, because his answer was pretty honest. I believe him when he says that it's like largely his family that can't separate the superstar from the narrative, and then how he was like, if Deuce was in his position, he also would be, just like his mom. Like, I was like, I like that answer. That's a good. That's a good answer. That's probably mostly true, and
Listen, I'm a 51-year-old man almost, and every time, like, I call my mom, and she, tell her I'm going to Boston for practice and going to Boston for a game, or I'm going to Dallas. She's like, oh, in a Greek accent, oh, be careful out there. It's dangerous out there. I'm like, I'm 51, and my mom's just like, oh, be careful. It's dangerous. Like, yeah. So I guess when it's your kid, there's no like, he's good. But yeah. So I get it. I get it. But regardless, everybody seems cool. Everybody seems to be like fine with it. But I guess, what would you expect? You wouldn't expect people to go out there and be like chattering. They're like, stereotypically like chewing on their fingers. Like, oh my God, it's the finals. It's here. I hope Derek Lively does that. I looked for him, and he didn't seem to be doing that. As surprising to me. But look, however the Celtics attack this, and it's going to look different every possession. And I lay out my vision of perfection, and with each one of those passes, there's a variant. There's the pick and roll drive, and maybe somebody is over helping or overly concerned about something, and it just becomes a sidestep lefty layup, and it's just you're just going to the rim. Maybe it is a kick in the first shot. Maybe it's a kick in that first shot instead of a shot. It's a drive, baseline drive, and you got all sorts of different variations there. And some of it's going to be isolation, and some of it's going to be attacking differently when different players are in the game, because Maxi Kleber defends differently than Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford. Like, so it's going to look different throughout the whole game. And I do think we get caught up in I want it to look like this all the time, and when it doesn't look like this all the time, it's their fault that they're not doing what I want them to see, what I wanted to see. But attacking Kyrie and Luka obviously is a priority. We've talked at length about how to defend Luka and all of that stuff. But when I'm going to fold in my Kyrie / wildcard target, I still believe in the Luka kind of, you do everything with Luka, but I don't know. He shot incredibly from three against Minnesota, right? But he still is like 36% with that shooting performance. He's still 36% from the playoffs. Like, I'm okay with Luka taking jumpers. I think I'm okay with contested and make him work hard for it. I am selling out to stop Kyrie Irving. I'm just completely selling out to stop Kyrie Irving. And I am doing everything in my power to confuse the hell out of Derek Lively, because the one game that they looked bad against Minnesota, Lively missed because of the neck sprain. And not having that option, I think, kind of threw them off He is so important to what they do. Kind of just short roll, catch, see the floor, make the right play.
Yeah.
I feel like Lively is one of those kind of like the Jenga piece where like if you can just pull the right one out, and it's not like the biggest one or the most obvious one, but you pull that one out and all of a sudden the whole thing starts to wobble and you're like, oh damn, now I got to be really careful. Like that's how I see Lively. And I think that's connected to Kyrie. I'll get your opinion on that in just a second. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. There's more than 5 million members playing PrizePicks, and you can just be one of them. And you're not playing against them because you're just playing against the projections. You pick more or less on 2 or more player stats, and you get a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. You can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePicks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you are locked in. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chance of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. So now with the NBA Finals, you can do more on PrizePicks with the star players. You get boosted payouts on select basketball stars that you won't find anywhere else. You can go more or less on Jayson Tatum rebounds, which are set at 10. You can get more or less on Jaylen Brown, 25 points. You can go into the WNBA if you want. Caitlin Clark, more or less than 3.5 3-pointers made. So go check it out. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. Just download the PrizePicks app. You use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get a first deposit match up to $100. You can win up to 10 times your money. So go check it out. PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA. I will be on Locked On NBA covering these NBA finals as well. So much more. You get double barrel podcasting for me on Wednesdays, but rotating hosts all week long. And it's a lot of fun covering the whole league and, other stuff on the league. It's not just the NBA finals that are going on. The league business continues. All right, Tom Westerholm, what's your take on my wild card target, Derek Lively?
Yeah, no, I think I like it. I think there's so much that goes into winning playoff games, and Lively has proven up for the moment. I think I've seen some Celtics fans, I think largely because there's been, more than a week in between games. I've seen some Celtics fans. I think some Celtics fans are starting to get sick of the Derek Lively discourse a little bit. But he's been really good. And to your point, he's been super crucial to everything that the Mavericks are doing. That said, he's still a rookie big man, and I think there's this is hard. And like the players that he's about to go against, like the 1 through 5 that he's about to have to go against, I think is probably the hardest that he's had to face pretty clearly, so far in the postseason. As Minnesota knocked out the Nuggets so that he didn't have to see them. And, which, at least comparable, in terms of 1 through 5, but like, this is everybody. Everybody's hard to guard on the Celtics. There's no, you have to have head on a swivel constantly. You have to do things against the Celtics that you did not have to do against the Timberwolves, that you did not have to do against any other team that you faced. That's going to be a challenge for a rookie. And I think, targeting that, I think anytime you can target any of the most important players on the side, like if you can target Lively on the defensive end, target him as much as you can. If you can target Kyrie, do it as much as you can. Wear him out. Luka, wear him out. Like, I think targeting any of those most important players, especially on the offensive end, make them defend, make them do stuff, try to wear them down, and just try to confuse them. Like this is like the Celtics offense is, I mean, it looks like a nightmare to guard because it's just even if it's coming, it's the it's that first step from the Jaylen or the Tatum that you just have to try to figure out, and then it's the extra pass that they always make, and all that stuff I think is going to All that stuff I think will matter quite a bit. But I like the lively. I like your wild card take. I think that makes sense.
So Celtics fans can understand, like, it's not like I'm saying that, Lively is prime Dwight Howard or anything like that. Like, the whole point is that he is a rookie.
Yeah.
And look, I know Mavericks fans have been sitting there like they've been getting on me because I dared suggest that a rookie might struggle in the playoffs, but like that's a possibility. He's never seen this before. He's never been here before. And the magnitude of the moment is difficult for some people to grasp. And it's not like, you're on the biggest stage, that everybody's watching, you're on ABC. Everybody's well aware of what's happening here. Everything is different. Media day. You're like, what the hell is this media day? Even Lively even said, he's like, you're just warming up, taking jumpers, and there's 150 people looking at you. Like, that's different than anything. And it's anything that makes somebody look around and go, oh, what was that?
Shoot-arounds are so not like during the rest of the season. Every shoot-around is completely empty gym. A couple of beat writers on their phones, maybe tweeting, maybe, and then the beat writers are all kicked out. Every shoot around is peaceful and the team, and then you get to media day and it is chaotic. Right. Yeah.
It is like madness. And anytime you look like, oh, what is this? What is that? It can be a little bit like Luke Skywalker facing off against Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back right before he gets his hand cut off, and like Darth Vader is just force throwing all of this stuff at him, and Luke's just like, and is like kind of flailing around. And you're like, yeah, you might be a powerful young Jedi, but in that moment, there's a bunch of crap flying at you, and there's a big scary dude ready to cut your hand off. Like, that's what I want to see. I do not want him to lose his hand, but I do want him to feel like danger is afoot.
And if you're Derek Lively, right, it's like who do you have Derek Lively on to start the game? Because you already put Luka on Porzingis.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I might have him on.
Because I hear you on the Luka on Porzingis thing, but like then you're putting Lively on.
Well. See, now here's the thing. So they normally start Gafford.
Oh, that's right. Right. That's been a whole controversy. Yeah.
But you can't, like, if you're gonna put Luka on Porzingis like that, this is the question. Going back to that original question. Okay, so you've got who guards Tatum? Who guards Brown? Like, if you start Luka on Porzingis, then I don't think you can start Gafford. You have to start Lively in that situation. But you're going to be starting a rookie in the NBA Finals, which is crazy. And he's not Magic Johnson.
Even setting that aside, though,
he's got to be on like he's got to be on like Holiday, right? And then tough, Kyrie is on. Then Kyrie would be on Derek White, right?
I don't like any of these matchups for them, man. Like,
no, it's bad. It's all bad. Yeah. So then if you start Gafford, then Gafford has to be on Porzingis, and then you put right, and then you have to do like Kyrie on Derek White and Luka on Drew Holiday, and then you just go from there. But none of that is good. None of that is good. So, but look, there's a question about how much Gafford is going to be playable in this series, because he hasn't been very playable against the Celtics. The way they play, the way the Celtics play, it's gonna be asking him to do a lot. So
yeah, and then to your point, that even if he's not playing a lot, then you're asking Lively to do a lot, and Lively's done a lot. Lively's a really good player, and he's gonna be an excellent player. He's gonna be everything that Mavs fans.
People are calling him Tyson Chandler. Like, he's gonna be like a high level guy like that. Yeah,
absolutely. I've seen a couple of people compare him to Rob Williams, and I kind of like that. Like, I like that comment. I don't think he's not as springy, but he's incredibly impactful, and he's very big. So
large person.
I hope none of this is coming off like we're just dumping on Derek Lively, but like
no,
he's
going
to struggle with all the everything in the playoffs is matchups, right?
Yes.
And it's just I don't like any of these matchups for Lively. They're all going to be hard.
It's going to be very difficult.
Defending in space in the NBA is so hard, and that's what
Right.
he's going to have to do as a rookie in the NBA Finals against a team that has built itself to do this and has had a week and a half to game plan for him. That's going to be hard.
That's going to be very hard. And so Maxi Kleber becomes a much more important player. And he's coming off a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
We're all saying this from the Celtics perspective, and who knows? Who knows? It's entirely possible that Lively can handle the moment. I'm not sitting there saying he's guaranteed to fail and pointing and laughing, but this is what you hope for, that you attack a rookie and you are requiring him to guard in space, and you are requiring him to go from the rim to the corner, back to the rim, to the other corner, back and forth. You are trying to break the defense, right? This is my wire hanger analogy. If you take a wire hanger and you bend it, eventually it's going to break. That's what the Celtics are going to be trying to do with this Dallas defense. The Dallas defense has been great. Dallas Mavericks are a great team. That's why they're in the NBA Finals. I just happen to see these weaknesses. I think the Celtics can exploit them, and they win by doing just that. And I think it's super important for the Celtics to start their offense early so they can attack. They need to be over half court at 19 on the shot clock. That's 20 on the shot clock. They need to push that pace, and they need to get into that first action 19, 18, so they can drive and swing and then drive again. I want to see the multiple attacks. This is how you put them in rotation. This is how you get them to make mistakes. This is how you get key players in foul trouble. And this is how you make Kyrie and Luka either one of two things. They're either going to work their asses off defensively and get tired, or they're going to start taking defensive possessions off because Boston has a lead, and they're going to be we need all of our energy to shoot out with these guys on offense, and now you're scoring. And that's why they need to start their offense early and just throttle them over and over and over again. There are multiple days off between these games. There's a chance to rest. This is the time to go and just avalanche of ball movement, player movement, and test these guys' ability to keep up. And if they can't keep up with that Celtics offense, they're going to struggle, because the Celtics are going to start piling up a lead. And every time the Mavericks miss, the pressure is going to ramp up. And Luka's going to say, I might have to do some of this myself. And Kyrie's going to say, I might have to do some of this myself. And once you start getting them to tick away from the game plan, that's where you got them. So that's why they need to run their offense the way they need to run it, because that's going to help their defense.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I think that on the other end, I think it's really essential. I agree with you. Target Kyrie defensively. Try to stop him, stop Lively, stop these other guys. And we talked about this yesterday, but anything that you can do to turn Luka into a mid-range guy and to shut down all his other options, if you do that, I love where you're at if you're the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of that is detracting from how damaging Luka can be from the mid-range. But 58% from mid-range against if everybody else is shut down, if your attack is mid-range shots, and that's primarily what you're getting, the math is going to work out for the Celtics. So I think all that offensive stuff, plus just being solid on the defensive end, make it as hard for Luka as you can, but make it as impossible as you can for everybody else. And I think you're in good shape. Listen,
I want people to understand what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about stopping any of these guys cold.
Right.
it's such a little. Joe talks about the margins, and it's such marginal stuff. We haven't even talked about the rebounding. The rebounding is going to be super important. Like, all you have to do is win each quarter by like 3 to 5 points. All you got to do is win each quarter, and then
that's all you got to do.
Doesn't matter. Or you win by 4, that's fine. But listen,
if the Celtics win every quarter in this series, I like their chances.
I like their chances too. But it's about winning the things, the few possessions in each quarter.
Yeah.
Like, you can probably chalk each side up. Excuse me. Generally speaking, you just start each side with 18 points in each quarter. We just know that no matter what, you're going to score your 18 points a quarter. Can the Celtics score the 10 more points to get to 28? And can they keep the Mavs to like the 5? Can they swing a few of those possessions, 2, 3, 4 possessions, to say, okay, this, instead of it going to 25 all to, end the quarter, it's one bucket goes to Boston and one comes off, and it's a 4-point swing, right? Boston gets a steal, score, and then you block a shot, get a stop. So boom, you win the quarter by 4. Boom, that's all you need. That's it. It's not about stopping it or winning each quarter by 12. You take that tie and find you got 2 minutes to go and break that tie somehow. And it's just a matter of a few plays here or there. And it just adds up. Win that quarter by 4, win the 8-point halftime lead, 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Like that. That's how you pile up. Like, oh wow, Celtics won by 16. That's incredible. Like, yeah, it's just little bits here or there, and that's going to be the difference. That's it. Yep. And I think the Celtics can do it. I keep saying Celtics in 6, but no one's really talking about the possibility of, oh right, Boston goes back to like the elite 3-point shooting team that we know them to be. Hauser hits a couple of threes. He gets going. Yeah. Tatum stops shooting like 29%. If Tatum can just shoot normally and Hauser can just shoot normally, then it's gonna be a struggle because the Celtics are just gonna put up too many points.
Yeah, Hauser. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how much playing time Hauser gets because I agree with you. I think he'd be a bit of a game breaker. I also he's been a bit of a game breaker all season. I like your I like your analogy of it. It reminds me of when I was in like freshman year high school basketball, and I would just be sitting there like, if I just score 5 points a quarter, I'm averaging 20 a game. All I got to do is score 5 points a quarter. Just beat them by 2 points every quarter, and you're going to win by 8. That's all there is to it.
That's it. I mean, how hard is it? How hard is it for you to hit a 3, 1 3 per quarter, and then just one other shot? That's it.
Just one backdoor cut, and your work's done.
That's it.
You don't even have to do anything.
You're like, wow, damn, Tom's averaging 20. All right,
easy peasy.
It doesn't take much. All right, so that's it. I think the Celtics win this series. It's not that they won't lose. Mm-hmm. It's not that they can't lose. Mm-hmm. It's that I think they're just the better team. And I don't see a ton of weaknesses that the Dallas Mavericks. They've got the best player, but it's Boston. And I got to wrap this up, but we've had so many days off that people keep overanalyzing. Like we're way past the point of like rational analysis. People are talking themselves into so many different things. And I think it just gets back down to the same things. Who does Luka guard? Who does Kyrie guard? The Celtics attack 2 or 3 matchups offensively. They have 2-3 places they can attack on a regular basis, and just keep hammering that. Keep hammering that, and eventually it'll work out. And I don't know what the Mavs do, what they hammer over and over again, other than Luka is just hammering everybody because he's Luka. But like, even that's going to be hard work because yeah, he can win those matchups. That's all going to be hard work. Yeah, Kyrie's going to score, but that's all going to be hard work. Dallas is going to have to work harder to get what they want. And I don't think that's a winning formula. That's it.
No, and I know we're trying to wrap up, but I think that's the reason that I am choosing the Celtics, why I think the Celtics will win this, is because in the past we've seen that if the Celtics miss a lot of threes, they can lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. And what we've seen this year all season, and I'm choosing to trust this team because they've given me no reason not to trust them all year. Start to finish, they've given us every reason to trust them. And the one thing that we've seen them do is even if they have one bad game, they pull themselves out of it right away.
Yeah.
Even in the playoffs when that has happened, they have one bad game and they pull themselves out of it right away. And it is just that old adage: if somebody tells you, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And that, in this case, in the Celtics case this season, what they've showed us to be is a consistently good team that can bounce back from a bad performance. And, that matters a lot in the finals. If you have a bad game 2, if you come out and you have a good game 3 and you shoot a good percentage from 3 again, it's just going to be really hard for the Mavericks to win. And I just don't think the Celtics are going to have 4 bad shooting games in this series.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, let's see. Next podcast.
Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Next podcast will be a post-game podcast. Thank God. All right, Tom. Appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep. Post-game 1 podcast coming from TD Garden. That's the next one. Hopefully it's a post-game 1 win. Either way, I'm going to break down everything that happened. We'll be breaking down everything that happened. Multiple podcasts breaking everything down, telling you what went well, what did not, what needs to be fixed, if anything. So make sure you're subscribed to the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's the number 1 Celtics podcast in the world. So thank you for making us that, and appreciate you subscribing. I also appreciate you getting onto that YouTube page, getting into the comment section, and sharing the podcast, telling everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.